Today I'm standing in one of my favorite neighborhoods in Louisville, Kentucky. Peaceful, historic, and beautifully preserved. Today we find ourselves in the Seneca Gardens neighborhood of Louisville, Kentucky. In today's video, I'm going to tell you everything you need to know about living in this gorgeous neighborhood so you will know whether it's the right fit for you. We're going to go over the pros and cons, we're going to go over the amenities, and I'm even going to hop in the car and take you on a driving tour of the beautiful Seneca Gardens neighborhood. So if you're thinking about moving to this Seneca Gardens neighborhood in Louisville, Kentucky, this is a video you won't want to miss. I'm Katie Skeen, a local realtor here in Louisville, Kentucky, and let's get right into it. The first pro that I want to share with you is this is such a peaceful neighborhood. There are these beautiful giant trees shading the streets. I can hear the birds chirping, and it just feels so peaceful to be taking a walk here in Seneca Gardens today. So it's amazing to think how close this is to the city, located within the Waterston Expressway, but it still feels like a quiet, peaceful retreat. A second major pro is its location. Now, I cannot stress this enough. If you want to live in the city, close to downtown Louisville, Kentucky, inside the Waterston Expressway, but still have convenient access to everything on the east end of Louisville, I think that this actually is the perfect neighborhood to live in. You can hop on the Waterston Expressway via Taylorsville Road so quickly and be right out to the east end of Louisville to all of those activities. As a mom of kids who has activities all on the east end of Louisville, I think this would be the perfect and most convenient location to have that quick and easy access. But you don't give up living in the city, and you don't give up being so close to all of the amenities that the city has to offer. Another pro of this neighborhood is its proximity to Bardstown Road. Now, Bardstown Road is known as Restaurant Row here in Louisville. So when we talk about everything the city has to offer, it's literally right outside this neighborhood down Taylorsville Road. You have some of the best restaurants in Louisville, some of the best bars, coffee shops. You have little boutique shops, and just everything that makes Louisville so charming is located right outside this neighborhood. So I absolutely love that. And then, of course, you have access to two of the city's best parks, Cherokee Park and Seneca Park. Cherokee Park is located just on the other side of this neighborhood, so it is really quick to get there. You can actually bike, walk, or even jog to be able to get down to that neighborhood, making it super convenient. So one of the last pros that I want to mention to you is the historic charm that is in this neighborhood. These homes were built even as early as the 1920s, and they are absolutely gorgeous. Some of these homes have been renovated so beautifully, and I just love the preservation of the historic charm, crystal knobs on the doors, just things that you don't see in other neighborhoods in Louisville. I love preserving that history. So if you're a person who is kind of a sucker for the charming old house, or if you're looking for a project where you like to fix something up, then that's definitely a pro of this neighborhood. Let's talk about some of the amenities that you'll find. We already mentioned a couple of them, right? That you're really close to two of these amazing parks located within Louisville, Kentucky. So to be in the city, you are not actually giving up your proximity to nature and outdoor parks. You can go hiking right in Cherokee Park. You can play tennis right in Seneca Park. Biking, the bike paths around this area are great. There is the public golf course located right near here. So you're in the city, but you have access to all of these outdoor amenities that I absolutely love. We already mentioned all of the restaurants on Bardstown Road, but you also have really quick and easy access to the other side over by St. Matthews, and everything that Frankfort Avenue, Lexington, everything in St. Matthews, you're kind of right in between those two areas. So you're gonna be able to access the restaurants, bars, nightlife amenities that both of those places have to offer. Another wonderful amenity of this neighborhood is its community feel. The residents here have a lot of pride in their home ownership. They want to get to know each other. They want to be out and experiencing the community together. They have several neighborhood events throughout the year. So it's definitely a place where people are welcomed, and residents have a real sense of pride of living in Seneca Gardens. Here in a second, we're going to jump into all the specifics about real estate so you'll know more about the architecture, the price points, some of the recently sold comps. But before we do that, I wanted to make sure you knew what an honor and a privilege it is for me to make these videos for you. I remember what it was like to move here 13 years ago, and I was looking for a resource of how to get in the neighborhoods, how to figure out where to live. So if you're thinking about relocating to the Louisville, Kentucky area, or you're moving within the Louisville, Kentucky area, I'm gonna go ahead and put my contact information on the screen, and I would absolutely love it if you would reach out to me, because I would really like the opportunity to help you process through where in Louisville you would like to move and to possibly figure out if Seneca Gardens would be the right fit for you. So go ahead and pick up the phone, give me a quick call, text, or email, and I'd be happy to help you. Let's talk about the real estate in Seneca Gardens. Now, most of the homes in Seneca Gardens were built somewhere between the 1920s and the 1950s. So we see a lot of traditional brick colonial style homes. We see some Tudors, even some Cape Cods, but these homes are truly full of charm and history, and they have all of those kinds of historic details that I absolutely just love. The inventory in this neighborhood does tend to be low, so when the houses do come up, there's often a steep competition for these homes. I think it's because the neighborhood is just beautiful with lush landscape and trees, nice sidewalks to walk on. People tend to maintain their properties and yards really nicely. The market in this neighborhood is both competitive and consistent, so the homes truly do tend to hold their value. In 2024, the median sales price of a property in Seneca Gardens was $532,000. This was a 26.6% increase from the prior year. The median cumulative days on market is 20. So we do see that the homes are starting to stay on the market just a little bit longer in Seneca Gardens, and this is an overall reflection of our broader market here in Louisville, Kentucky. A recently sold property that I want to share with you is 2549 Seneca Drive. It had 3 bedrooms and 4 bathrooms, 2 full baths and 2 half baths. It has 3,003 square feet. It was listed at $650,000 but actually closed at $700,000. This is a great example of a property that came onto the market and had some great competition driving up that price. go ahead and hop on the map together. The first thing I want to show you is just give you a general idea of where Seneca Gardens is located within the city. It's right here, neighborhood off of Taylorsville Road. Now you'll notice that we are definitely well within the Watterson Expressway, which is our inner outer belt. And then actually we would have to zoom out to even be able to see where it is located in comparison to the Gene Snyder Expressway. So here's Seneca Gardens, here's the Gene Snyder Expressway. So you are definitely one of these neighborhoods located within the Watterson Expressway. We consider this more of, closer to the city, more of our urban type neighborhood. As far as access to different expressways, I actually think this location is such a perfect location for quick and easy access to the east end of Louisville. So if you're wanting to be closer to the city, but you're still wanting to have easy access, then I think this is absolutely one of my favorite spots for that. So you would come out of the neighborhood on Taylorsville Road and you will be able to get on the Watterson Expressway. There is an entrance ramp right here. So if you need to go out to the east end, you can easily do that. Or if you're needing to come back west, you're able to do that as well. Just a few minutes to get out to the Watterson. Now, if you're needing to get to 64, you can actually cut through back here by Bowman Field. If you come up right here, there is an entrance onto Interstate 64. So as you can see, this neighborhood has convenient access to both the Watterson and 64. And from both of those expressways, you can pretty much get anywhere you're needing to go. So if you're wanting to, go up to Cincinnati, you would just take that expressway up to 71. You're about an hour and a half from Cincinnati. If you're wanting to get over to Lexington, you're going to come up to 64, head east. You're about an hour from Lexington. Of course, you can always get on 64 to come downtown and get onto Interstate 65 to head up towards Indianapolis, which is about a 2 to 2.5 hour drive. And then if you're wanting to head south, you're going to come out of the neighborhood onto the Watterson Expressway, come around to Interstate 65, and head south about 3 to 3.5 hours down to the Nashville area. So you are very conveniently located to just hop onto any of the expressways. Now, if you're looking at commute times, the first one I want to share with you is to be able to get downtown. They're actually not having you take the freeway. They're having you kind of snake back through Cherokee Park, head on up eventually to Frankfort, and then you're coming on down Frankfort and going up and around. It's saying that it's 7.4 miles, about 15 minutes. That seems about right. How they're actually having you access downtown is they're having you come up this way, eventually get onto 64 and taking 64 on into the downtown area. Now, you're probably not coming all the way over to this west side of downtown. You probably are likely getting off somewhere around here, but they're saying that's about 7.4 miles or 15 minutes. Of course, depending on what time of day it is, you might choose to take a non-freeway route. So another option for that would just be to come down Taylorsville Road and hop onto the Bardstown Road, coming up into Baxter. This will take you up into downtown as well, but you're looking at a solid 15 minutes to get downtown, no matter which direction you're going. Now, if you're someone who's needing to get down to the airport, you can see that that's going to take you about 10 minutes. It's a 6.1 mile drive. Really easy access. They're actually having you come out of the neighborhood and get onto Bardstown Road going this way, and then taking that Watterson Expressway right over to the Louisville Airport, which is located right here. So if you're someone who flies a lot for business or travel or fun, then you're going to have really easy access to the airport. We have quite a few businesses that are located up here in this Hurstbourne area and then out in Jeffersontown as well. So depending on where you're working, if you're coming out to the Hurstbourne Parkway area, that is saying that it takes 15 minutes. It looks like they're having a little bit of traffic. You don't actually even have to get on the expressway at all. You can take Taylorsville Road, which will take you all the way out into the J-Town area. So if you are needing to commute out that way, you can take that way. You can also get on the Watterson Expressway and head up to 64. That would be quicker if you're up in this area for work. That's probably about 15 minutes as well. Now in rush hour, of course, it could take you a little bit longer, but you really do have pretty quick access out to these East End places, industrial parkway, business parks, all of that. Let's take a look at some of our dining and entertainment that is close to this Seneca Gardens neighborhood. Now, you are located so close to Bardstown Road, which is known as our restaurant row. If you come down Taylorsville Road out of the neighborhood, you can easily access all of these restaurants and bars along Bardstown Road. Here are just a few of the restaurants located right here on Bardstown Road. I'll tell you a couple of my favorites. Now, there are so many good ones, so those of you local to Louisville, please don't hate on me for the ones that I'm about to tell you about, but these are just some of my favorites. Dragon King's Daughter is absolutely one of my all-time favorite sushi places in the city. It has a really great atmosphere. The sushi is good. It's not the best sushi in Louisville in my opinion, but still it's so convenient to this Bardstown Road area that I think it's a really great spot to go. They also have really great appetizers. My kids have even actually been convinced that this is delicious. So we love to go here as a family, but it's also a nice date spot or just meeting up with friends. Lots of yummy, yummy food here. Another really fun restaurant in that area is actually Noche. It's a Mexican restaurant. Now this is in an old converted church. So to me, one of the best parts about this, I do like the drinks there, but would be this converted church atmosphere. The way that it looks is really cool. So the vibe and the atmosphere is a lot of fun. And then it's solid, good Mexican, upscale kind of Mexican food. Like I said, the margs are really great. So if that's your vibe and that's what you're interested in, then I definitely think checking out Noche, it's just a great place to go. Now, if you're looking for a little bit more upscale, I will point out to you Ceviche on the map. Now, I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm not a huge fan of ceviche, okay? But a lot of people love it. It's a really highly rated restaurant in Louisville. So you can check that out and you can determine for yourself whether you think that's a great spot. But another one that I actually do like is La Chasse. I think I'm saying that correctly. But that is a really fun French restaurant. It has a really nice atmosphere. It would be more of a date night kind of spot. Lovely drinks. So I've gone here with my husband a couple of times for a special occasion and we have really enjoyed the atmosphere and the food. So definitely check that one out as well. And then another one of my favorite places to check out if you come a little bit further north is Jack Fry's. This is another iconic special occasion restaurant in Louisville, Kentucky. I really like the filet there. So definitely check that out. There it is. Look, it looks delicious. But it's been around for a long time. You typically need reservations. Great special occasion restaurant. Now, as far as grocery shopping is concerned, this is a concern for a lot of people. So here's your Seneca Gardens. You're going to come right out Taylorsville Road, and there is a Kroger right outside your neighborhood. So primarily you would be doing your shopping at Kroger. There also a little bit further north up into the Highlands is this Mid-City Mall Value Market. I actually think the produce in that market is really nice, but this is like a run in and grab something real quick. This is not where you're going to primarily do your main shopping. But what I did want to point out to you, if you come south on Bardstown Road to this Bashford Manor area, this is where you're really going to have the sweet spot of everything that you need. If we put it to the Target test, we see that it is taking 12 minutes right now. Now it's the middle of the day here, but they are saying you come down Bardstown Road, right over here to Bashford Manor. You're also going to have Walmart and Lowe's in this area. A little bit further down Bardstown Road is an Aldi. And then of course you have your Costco right up in here. There's also several fast food restaurants around this area. You've got a Chick-fil-A. You've got Jack in the Box. I can't say that I've ever been there before, but it's there. There's also a Starbucks in that location. So really quick and easy access to some of those restaurants. And then if you like Home Depot, you can actually come the back way through the neighborhood up here to Breckenridge. There's a lot of stuff over here in this area. There's a First Watch, there's a Home Depot. Let's take a look at that on the map. So if we zoom in over in this area, we have Jaggers, which was right here. This is a fast food restaurant actually owned by Texas Roadhouse. So really good burgers. To me, it's like elevated. It's more like a Chick-fil-A fast food, a little bit nicer than McDonald's. You've got Rafferty's, you've got First Watch, you've got Wild Eggs over in this area. Over here is a big medical area. We've got several hospitals over in this area. So lots of access to medical care, lots of convenient access to fast food and shopping right out from your Seneca Gardens neighborhood. Let's talk about proximity to parks and outdoor recreation. I know this can be really important for a lot of people. So here we are in Seneca Gardens. You are kind of right in between two of our premier parks within the city. The first one is Cherokee Park. This is our iconic park located right in the heart of the city. And it was designed by Frederick Law Olmsted, the same guy who designed Central Park. It kind of has those Central Park vibes, but it has a 2.2-mile loop. It has hiking and biking and playgrounds and splash grounds and a dog park. There's so many amazing things to do at Cherokee Park that I highly recommend you check out that park. Some people are able to bike and run from Seneca Gardens, through some of these back streets to get over to Cherokee Park and really enjoy the outdoor recreation there. And then the other one is Seneca Park, right over in this area. You've got tennis courts, you've got a much shorter loop, soccer courts, volleyball, playground. Over here is a public Seneca Park golf course. So if you like to golf and you want to play at a public course, then you have that right outside your back door as well. So I really think for city living, the location as far as green spaces and getting into parks is very convenient. I know many of you are trying to figure out where your kids are going to go to school if you are located in this Seneca Gardens neighborhood. You know that if you're going to a public school, you're going to be in the Jefferson County Public School District. In elementary school, you're going to have several different options for this location, but the one that's closest is actually called Bloom Elementary. So you would just come right out of the neighborhood on Taylorsville Road down to Bardstown Road to get up to Bloom. Now, Bloom has a great schools rating of 6 out of 10. I know quite a few people from the community do choose to go to Bloom. Here it is, and it is a great JCPS elementary school choice. The JCPS middle school option for this area. Now, this is just talking about reside schools. It's not talking about any of the magnet programs, but you do have the opportunity to go to Highland Middle School. Now, this one only has a great schools rating of 2 out of 10. It's not as highly rated. I will say I do know some families that send their students here and they do think it's a good school. I also have a client that works at the school. So the ratings are not everything. I think taking a tour and really getting in and seeing what it's all about is really the most important thing. Also, I do believe that the Spanish immersion program from Hawthorne Elementary does feed into Highland Middle. So that would definitely be something to ask about if that's still a program that's happening at that middle school. Now, as far as high school, for your JCPS option, you are going to have access to Atherton High School. This is a great school. It is not located that far at all from the Seneca Gardens area. You're going to come over this way. And it has a great schools rating of 7 out of 10. And one of the things that it's really well known for is its International Baccalaureate program. It's one of the only JCPS high schools that has that. So Atherton is really becoming an up-and-coming school in Louisville and a great high school option for those that decide not to go to one of the magnet programs. Now, for those of you wanting to go the private school route, I do want to point out a couple of schools to you. The first is St. Rayfield. It's going to be the closest to that neighborhood of Seneca Gardens. This is a K-8 Catholic school. A lot of families choose to go there. And then the other one is St. Agnes Catholic School, and that is a little bit more of a drive, but that is a school that has won several Blue Ribbon Award winners. So I know that it's really a well thought of Catholic school in our community. And then for high school, your closest Catholic girls school is going to be down here on the Bardstown Road area, and that's Assumption. And then for the men, they are going to come over here to St. X, which is located on Poplar Level, which is up around here. So you have two Catholic school high schools that are real close. If you're not looking for Catholic education, but you still want private school, a really great option would be the Louisville Collegiate School. And that is located just up Bardstown Road, a little bit further away, but this is actually K-12. It is a very prestigious and highly rated private school in the area. So if you're living in Seneca Gardens, you want private, but you don't want Catholic, this could definitely be a school that you would want to check out. Now, living in Seneca Gardens is not all roses. There are a couple of cons about living in this neighborhood. The first one is what I already mentioned, that there is such a limited inventory. So if you've got your eyes set on Seneca Gardens, it could be very competitive for you to be able to get into this neighborhood. The good news is that the surrounding areas of the Highlands have some similar neighborhoods at similar price points. The second con is that these homes are older, so many of them are going to be outdated. Many of them are going to have a more choppy floor plan, that traditional kind of style where you have a lot of rooms that are sectioned off and independent of each other. Today, many buyers are looking for a more open concept, and so this is one of the challenges of older homes. It's really difficult sometimes to start taking down walls and to renovate, but if you are looking for a fixer-upper, then you probably will be able to find one. Some of the homes have been really tastefully remodeled, but you are going to have just some of the restrictions that you find when you're dealing with an older home, and many of them are going to be outdated. The last con is that there is no commercial district directly in this neighborhood. It's completely residential. This isn't too much of a big deal or a con because you're not that far from Bardstown Road, so you'll be able to access all the coffee shops, restaurants, grocery stores that Bardstown Road has to offer. But if you want to be in the action and actually have some of that commercial zoning in the neighborhood, Seneca Gardens does not have that. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, Seneca Gardens is an absolutely gorgeous and beautiful place to live. It's tranquil and quiet right within the city, but it's not going to be for everyone. So here in a second, I'm going to give you two different neighborhoods that you absolutely must consider if you're not sure if Seneca Gardens is going to be the right fit for you. But before I tell you about those two neighborhoods, I wanted to make sure you were aware about my relocation roadmap. This is a document that I created just for you. It's really simple to download it. The link is down in the description. And I made this for people just like you who are considering relocating to the Louisville, Kentucky area. I remember what it was like 13 years ago to relocate here. I was completely overwhelmed. I didn't know the steps. I didn't know who to talk to. And so I created this relocation roadmap out of my experience relocating here. So if you want to take a minute and just download that roadmap, it will simplify the process for you. It will give you a step-by-step process of exactly what you need to do and what you need to consider as you plan your move here to Louisville, Kentucky. Now, if you're thinking Seneca Gardens isn't for you, another neighborhood that I want to recommend to you is actually Crescent Hill. This is a great option because it has some of those historic homes and some quieter streets, but it also, most of the areas in Crescent Hill have direct walking access to Frankfort Avenue. You're not going to have that in Seneca Gardens. So Frankfort Avenue has a bunch of restaurants and bars. So if you do want that mixed use residential and commercial, you're going to have a lot more walkability and easier access in the Crescent Hill area. The other neighborhood that I want to suggest to you is all of the neighborhoods off Bardstown Road up and down as part of the Highlands. These neighborhoods can tend to be a little bit more walkable. There are several other neighborhoods within that Highlands neighborhood that will have more inventory. So if you're having trouble finding your dream home in Seneca Gardens, expand your search to include these other neighborhoods in the Highlands, and you'll be able to find more inventory available to you. I hope you found this video helpful on living in Seneca Gardens neighborhood in Louisville, Kentucky. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.